All right, we're going to look at this video physics app and going to do a quick tutorial on how to label the points in your video as well as import them into your Google Drive so that you can analyze and process your learning. So the first thing you're going to do is identify the origin and the scale. Notice the coordinate axes that have been placed on the graph when you click on the origin and scale. Also notice the line with a circle at each end. We're going to use these to label the origin and scale. First, you're going to want to advance the video to where you want the motion to start. So I advanced the motion so that BB8 would be in the frame to where the motion is going to start. Then I pause the video at that point and then moved the axis to the beginning of the motion. Because the video was not tilted, I was able to just place the XY axis as is. However, you are able to slant that axis in case the video is slanted. You're going to place the axis at the start of and the center of the object that is being filmed. After this, we're going to label each point from this exact center point. Next, you're going to locate the meter stick or ruler you use for scale and place each circle on the end of the measurement device as shown in the image here. So you're going to place one end of the circle, center of the circle at one end of the meter stick or measurement device and the other circle at the other end. If you did use a ruler instead of a meter stick, you're going to have to make sure that up here you change the unit from meter to foot. Next, we're going to identify the points. So you're going to click on points there in the middle upper, in the middle of the app up there, and adjust the circle. You'll adjust the circle if you do have a circular object. You can adjust the circle so that it does fit over the object. This will help you place the point at the center every time, but it really doesn't have an effect on your results. Now you're going to place the circle on the object and press the center of the circle. A red dot is going to appear. These red dots will be the points on your motion graphs. You can click on the points to delete them as well. If you click on the point, a little delete will come up and you can delete them if you're not satisfied with where you have placed them. You're going to forward the video and pause each time, adding a point or one of those red dots to your video. Excuse me, as shown in the image. You're going to add the points until the entire motion has been labeled. I would play it back to make sure that the points you see are labeled correctly. Next, you're going to share this video to your Google Drive, and you're going to do that by clicking on the share button at the upper top right-hand corner and choose video with points so that you're able to see how you identified that motion. And then you'll share it to your sign in and share it to your Google Drive. Now you're going to get the motion graphs that you've just created by identifying all these points. You're going to click on the graph symbol at the upper right-hand corner. And you're going to find the graph that represents the motion in the direction that you were analyzing. The second option of the graphs that are represented, there are three graphs, and the second graph represents motion in the X direction, whereas the third graph represents motion in the Y direction. I've chosen the X direction because BB8 was rolling in the X direction. Once you have identified which graph you're going to analyze, you'll need to take a snapshot of that graph and then import it into your Google Drive. You'll click the Home button, which is the small button at the bottom of the iPad in the center, and the upper right-hand button at the same time. And you'll click those. A snapshot will appear, and you will have the ability to share that snapshot to your Google Drive. So now you'll have everything you need to analyze and process what we did here at the playground. But I just want to say a couple things about the graph that was created. Notice that in the X versus T, or distance versus time graph, we see that BB8 was moving at a slower speed from about 0 to 3 seconds, and then that BB-8 speed increased. And we know that because the slope increased. It's a steeper slope from 3 seconds to about 9 seconds. It's mainly a constant. Remember, the slope of the x versus time, or the distance versus time graph, is the speed. And we can see this displayed below because here we have a basically constant slope. And here on our velocity versus time graph on below, we see that the velocity here is about at a constant rate. Now, it varies a little bit, but it does show us in general that BB-8 did have a constant speed, and with that represented here on the velocity versus time graph. You can find the slope by identifying points and or find the speed by identifying points to find the slope, because the slope of that distance versus time graph is the speed.